What will be brought out here? We saw Leona in the Nautilus earlier. I feel like Mel Pike, you could play it, but specifically in Ezreal Nord, not the combo you'd expect. Leona, I think, is a fine pickup. Very tanky, especially compared to Nautilus. Can dive in with the team, and it keeps that bot lane pick open for Pays. See a bit more of the composition and see what you want to go for. Ziggs honestly would be fine in this situation because you can just throw the ult on top as the Vi ults. Provides a lot of threat, and Ziggs, really hard to play Cassiopeia as Ziggs because if the minefield's down, you can't approach. That's the hen though, as you said, gonna come through, pick that Perfect is comfortable on, and will thrive against guaranteed 4 melees. Probably only 4, but we never know. Pays did play that Silas bot. And now gonna see what will be the jungle pick. Right now looking at a potential Pantheon.
Yeah. I don't know if Skarner really works here. I think they engage a little bit too fast. Thinking about the Pantheon for a while.
Very hard to hit Akali with a Skarner roll.
Yeah.
But the Pantheon's going to come through. I don't think Pantheon's altogether the best into T1's composition, but when you get into some of those fights, you have the point-and-click CC, you have a lot of early pressure to set up your lanes. And to be fair, Pantheon does so much damage when he's spamming his tap Q, it's going to be quite a problem. What, though, is Pays going to pick here to pair up with the Leona? I'm kind of feeling that it might be a mage, and it looks like he's going to go for the Victor. Pick that he feels very comfortable on. Has a lot of wave clear early, had a lot of pressure early as far as mages go. You know, a lot of mages in the bot lane are like, we need Lost Chapter to come online, but I feel like the Victor, even before that, can be a bit of a threat.
Up on the rip for first game of the Telecom War. Game number 1. As we start off here, the ward is already coming down. As they went for a bit of an early play. Did KT on the level 1. Not going to find anything, though, outside of the ward.
And I believe that is Doran's Ambassador skin. So
yes,
bringing out his own skin. Some players on T1, not a fan of bringing out their own skins or any skin. Obviously, I'm talking about Faker, but Doran having the chance
Thanks for clarifying that.
to bring out his own skin. I mean, something like Kerry. I mean, everyone plays Kerry as Bard skin. I feel like this.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we see the snow one with a hot cocoa, but it's usually Kerry as Bard across the entire league. Faker's Ari as well. I feel like everyone played it apart from Faker. But Doran's like, yeah, you know what? I did win Worlds. I will bring out my Ambassador skin.
Yeah, I think I would be a skin player myself.
You would play your own skin? I think I would too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just for like brand value, like there's a reason why you have that skin.
Brand
it's
value,
smart.
Brendan. It's for aura. That's intimidation.
Well, I feel like if you're playing too much into the the idea of like I'm super cool, I won Worlds, look at me, I'm great. That's a little bit you're like kind of losing aura in that way. But if you're like, no, I want to sell my skin and I want to be like, hey, I am I'm kind of a big deal and you should respect me because of that. I don't know. The more I talk about it, I'm like, it's kind of the same thing. So
yeah, I think you've gone a little bit too deep on this one.
It's similar. I think it's okay. I would use the skin.
Thank you for confirming.
What about you, Ox? Would you use the skin?
I said already, yeah. Of course I would.
Yeah. For aura?
Yeah. Intimidation.
Well, I guess.
Perfect's laning against you.
Straightforward.
You say in all chat, do you like my skin? And it has the double meaning of like your skin, the skin you're using, and also it's actually his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad we can see eye to eye on that. Right now, you can see the early pressure from Benray here on the Ezreal. Obviously, very strong in the early levels. We saw last series that work out to great effect. But so far, Hayes doing a pretty good job of keeping up on farm. Mid lane, it's a battle between BDD's mana pool and Faker's health bar, which will run out first.
BDD's mana pool.
Now looking for
or maybe it's BDD's health pool. Didn't expect that one.
Carrier was also there. A little bit away. But if the CC had connected, maybe you get an E-flash come in. So good flash from BDD, but a big pickup already for T1 to have that flash down on the enemy mid laner. When Faker gets his ultimate, a lot of kill pressure onto that Cassiopeia.
BD goes back. Doesn't have a tier. He's just going for the Catalyst first. And is able to accept that big wave. Top lane, we saw Kian do a number to Frog in our first matchup. In this, in the opposite side of this one as the Zahen. And then if we had player of the game, he would have won it. But it was player of the match, and Scout won it instead. But yeah, the Zahen feeling pretty comfortable. There's an exhaust on to Paze, who's going to drop the stun here straight on to Effort, who now doesn't have his Aftershock, and he's a level 3 Nautilus against this Vi. As the flashes come out here, flash stun forward from Keria is easy work, and that'll be first blood handed over on a silver platter to Paze, as Fenrir says, how about a little extra? Tries to go for the kill, and just dies to Owner! And he has egg on his face, and that'll be the end of the bot lane.
And you guys might have thought that was super close to him taking down Keria. Keria still had heal. Still had gas in the tank. A perfect bait in. And what I think was so crazy about this play is the fact that T1 at no point seemed even slightly panicked. So I think a lot of players would just flash early here. But no, Paze is like, I have my backup. They cannot kill me in a rotation. I have the gravity field to set the play. Ona with a little bit short on the flash here to land on Effort. But Keria commits the Q cooldown solo on Leona to take it out to Paze. Great patience, knowing he doesn't need to flash. But then here, look how low Keria gets. Still holds the heal, has the Eclipse up, knows he doesn't need to use it. But it just shows you how guaranteed his life was there. There was never a world where he goes down and T1 pick up 2 kills on the bot lane. And typically, we know that the Victor's going to get strong as the game goes on. He has a Lost Chapter now, has that mana pool to play with. But the fact that Ezreal pre-face back when he has a lot of power, ends up down 2 kills in the lane, feels really bad. Like, you're coming back to lane with Tyr and the Fairy in a bottle.
Yeah.
In comparison, you have a Lost Chapter, a Dark Seal for Paze. This buy difference comparison could not be worse.
Yeah, and, you know, outside of the kills and the extra gold that Paze gets, this is kind of just how the bot lane is functioning nowadays, and why we're seeing some more AP carries is just, you know, you get your Lost Chapter, and you are so much stronger than the AD carry for a long time, especially after that first item spike. Now, Perfect hasn't lost on Zahen yet.
Yeah.
Until, well, we'll see what happens.
See last game, when the comp doesn't have the DPS to cut through,
yeah.
When you don't have the DPS to cut through, and even then, they had a comp with a lot of DPS. It was like a Cassiopeia and a Sivir, and they still couldn't cut through perfect. So this composition from T1 has a lot less DPS. They may struggle if perfect gets ahead, if he gets some momentum in this game. That is the point I'm very concerned about for T1. But so far, bot lane in a great spot. And Faker now with the ult available. When BDD has no flash, it makes skirmishing around mid, contesting, dragon, things like that, pretty difficult, even though BDD has the prio. Because even though he can move first, if Akali shows up after and ults onto him, he might just be cooked.
Yeah, just got to play it so carefully. It takes a lot of pressure away from the lanes, which is just where we see a lot of games won early on, is that pressure. As in goes Faker, there it is, the Miasma is off to the right, just trying to help against Owner. The ult comes in, but that is going to be the Vi connecting. As in comes Cuz, though, on the play here, and is going to take down Owner as a heal comes in. A stun from Keria, and eventually he does land the Q, but making it interesting is Keria.
I think that would have been absolutely insane if we had a situation where Cuz was not able to secure that kill, not able to finish it off. But in the end, the Pantheon ult, having great value, just covering your lanes. And Cuz has a pretty sizable farm lead as well. He's just been am farming, I'm focused on that. Owner's trying to impact the map. And we see this Miasma come down because he had vision of Owner coming through. And he's like, look, I can live just the Akali. I need to slow down the Vi. And it does end up buying enough time for Cuz to get in. The heal from Keria allows Owner to do some fancy footwork. But ultimately, the Q cooldown does not come up soon enough. He's not able to dash away. And a great turnaround play from KT. And now BDD has flash again, so he's going to feel much safer next time they go for a play like that.
Yeah. He's going to have flash. He's one step closer to the Rod of Ages. He can get that stacking a bit early. As here comes Cuz.
Stay one step, but he slithers, so...
Yeah. Not sure where I was going with that one. I should pay attention. Here is Pays, who is 1v2, trying to take out Fenrir somehow, but is going to flash the opposite way. He gets his Q for some movement, and Cuz still has flash, and here comes BDD. So eventually Pays dies, surely.
Yeah.
He's going to drop a stun, hit the Gromp, and now he will die. That'll be a shutdown given over to BDD. This Pays goes for a wild walk.
Not sure about the decision to commit the flash there. I don't think there was any world you're really getting out. You can buy time, but what are you buying time for? And it's not like T1's really doing that much of the map. You do at least have TP to get back. But yeah, I think ends up beating the Summoner. I think probably should have just accepted the fate. Does now come back to lane with the Blackfire Torch and is 900 gold up still on Fenrir. Critical thing, maybe, I don't think this played into it, but he did deny any kill or assist gold from the enemy Ezreal. So his lane's still in a decent spot, although that did end up giving a kill over to BDD. And Pays maybe thought, well, that's your problem, Faker, not mine.
Yeah, I mean, Faker's gonna take a while to just farm it up. And especially after that failed kill on the BDD earlier where he didn't have to flash, he was already kind of in a rough spot. Obviously not good to give kills over to the first pick. Cassiopeia in the hands of BDD, but as you mentioned, Pays maybe not going to care all too much about that, as Victor generally going to be pretty happy into that champ. And Doran's doing pretty well up here in the top lane. Has just a natural small lead. Of course, top lane, so for now, especially with no item completed, just kind of hitting each other with no big lead generated so far. No dragon early either with all this action we've had.
Both the earlier games, was about a 9-minute first dragon, which isn't the earliest, but haven't seen that come through yet from KT. Now they are looking to make a move over, controlling the area. RT1 going to contest it. Looks like they're eyeing it up. They have some vision. Effort is level 6. Advantage over Carrier here.
Yeah, I'm going to ult in. Carrier in a lot of trouble. Doesn't even get his Eclipse up. Just dies full comboed. As KT sets that up and picks up the kill. That's the early Ocean Drake over the side of KT2.
Just great moves there, specifically by Effort to play around the Banana Brush, lack of vision, engages onto Carrier. He knows him having level 6 and Carrier not, gives him such a big advantage. And he lands the Dredge line, ults through. And as you said, Carrier just didn't get to play the game. They get a kill and the dragon in pocket. A really good start for KT. Bit of momentum they definitely needed after things went wrong in the bot lane.
Yeah, and at the same time, we are zooming in on the top lane as here comes the Pantheon this time. Doran not really able to get out of this situation, trying to dive away. Flashes over the wall. Spear also not going to land, but perfect on the chase. Needs one more CC, is going to land, and flash on in from Cuz is going to finish the job. We got a TP deep in here from Faker, as Owner has to keep BDD busy. Now they're looking at BDD, who has his flash. And Carrier also making his way over, flashes over the wall, but Faker lands the Shuriken. In comes Owner, blocks the cube, and it doesn't matter. They're going to take down BDD. They're looking for more, as the shield is gone, and so is Cuz. Faker and T1 collapse so quickly for the play.
Such a good play from Faker. And now they're looking for Perfect on the tower. Bear in mind, no ult passive, completely unstacked.
Oh, and a TP too.
Oh, they're committing another member. Doran with the Eclipse coming in.
And they have so much time. I mean, BDD no TP, Cuz no ults, like Perfect's just dead. The question is who gets the kill? And it will go to Faker. And very well deserved. 2-0 on the Akali.
I also just think the fact that you want to leverage in these power spikes, Sundered Sky for the Vi, Gunblade for the Akali, they end up going with this initial play on Doran, and they have to commit so much to get him. So initially, that's a great knock-up from Perfect, and then he goes over the wall there, gets like max distance on the ult. They both have to flash to get him, and that's the point where we see Faker commit the TP. Now, KT could have just sacrificed BDD who's running up, but instead, they try and save him, and this is when things go bad. They're like, hey, we can catch Faker here. BDD has vision, but this sidestep from Faker is so good, and it allows the follow-up, and the ult from Owner knocks Cuz back. So now he's dead as well. So they get, you know, where it was just one person out of position, it becomes two, and then the follow-up players, they also get perfect. And I think KT just need to kind of cut, not even their losses, just take an even trade. But instead, they try to salvage it, and they end up losing far, far more.
It's the way it always works. I mean, a game of inches at times, League of Legends, and it feels like sometimes you just have to take the small loss or the equal play, as you were saying. So now, after giving that away, T1 are 2,000 gold ahead. Now, Carry is in a lot of trouble here, has the Eclipse up this time around, but they're just going to give him away, as he has other thoughts about that, though. He's going to try to flash, and down he will go. BDD picks up the kill.
Yeah, good move, some effort, just saving the ult in case he does get out of range. Didn't have to commit a flash, which is solid, and I think Carry a little bit wasteful on his. I think another scenario where just accepting the fate, saving resources would have gone better. But either way, KT just setting these little traps, trying to catch T1 members off guard.
Yeah, it does feel like T1 getting a little bit of that "we are better than you" feel vibe, and they're just like, yeah, we can flash away. We live here. We always live here. When oftentimes they're very, very dead. Yeah, a little zoom in on Doran there. Maybe he missed the cannon. I'm not sure what happened, but he's still dominating the top lane, even though he did die.
Yeah, I mean, the tower being gone, Doran has a 1,000 gold lead. We also see in the bot lane 1,000 gold lead for Pays.
Ooh.
Then blade just misses there onto Perfect. I think he would be pretty hard to kill, given that he has ult and it was just the two of them, but he'll keep himself healthy. And I'm just a little concerned.
Uh-oh. They're looking for effort here on the one combo. The Shuriken's going to land, and even with the exhaust, the Sundo comes in and they kill him mid-dash, but oh, he still gets the kill.
Yeah, I think
barely.
There wasn't a ton that Effort could do to survive. It's crazy how close he was. They really tried, but ultimately getting the kill back in return is just very weird. This was a 3-0 kill, shutdown coming through, so KT pretty happy with that one. Now Herald's going to get thrown down mid. No one's really in position to defend it other than Cuz. I think this tower is just dead. Gonna fear that amplify the gold lead, even though KT with that kill on the Faker did manage to claw it back a bit. And now, Owner's gonna try and make his way down to the bot tower. 666 health on the Herald.
Oh, trying to burst it down as BDD. Oh! So close. But yeah, it's
honestly,
just...
I think it just hurts more that it was so close, because if he just messed it up and hit a wall, I'd be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact he was
messed up and hit
inches away, got right to the end of the run and failed it.
Yeah. Might as well just go for the reset on Wonks, you know, on the first split. But, you know, there's a little bit of T1 classic snowballing, you know, in a macro sense. There were a little bit of shenanigans early on in this game, for sure. It wasn't
shenanigans like, in a T1 game?
Yeah, it wasn't like crazy T1 circus level. We're going to get that in game 2, no doubt. But already, just a little bit of spiciness. You know, they're not scared to fight. They're willing to go for plays that maybe they don't have to. A little bit of limit testing, if you will. But then, you know, one play goes their way, and all of a sudden, they're very far ahead. Now, this is still within touching distance for KT, as they're trying to pick up the second Drake here, but this time T1 don't want to let it happen. As we do have a TP coming in, and the smite is good for the side of Owner. They could just back away, but everything's being thrown in, and they catch BDD with that ultimate, the solar flare. They get very deep in onto the Cassio, and they take him out. Now looking for the Ezreal, but look at the peel from the Zahen, as Cuz and Perfect providing that front line. Are they fed enough at this point is really the question, as in goes Fenrir looking for a little bit of an extension. Ult on in from Cuz, but he goes the wrong way. And now perhaps they're a little bit out of, nope, gonna get Carrier here. Thought they were out of range, but still able to get that extra kill off at the back of it.
Fakeman Pays will survive, but ultimately KT very happy with how that one panned out. Weren't super committed onto the Dragon. You can see Cuz here, he could have flashed and gone for the smite, but they wanted to fight instead. And initially, BDD gets caught by the Solar Flare. He does get an ult off in return, but they just dive onto him to decimate him. But Fenrir, this flash was great. Cuz and Perfect move into Peel, and it gives space to their AD carry and allows them to push forward later. I think Cuz ulted this way, because if he ulted further left, could have just been targeted as soon as he came out. I think played it a bit more conservatively, but still able to get in range of carry to take him down. And the end result, Cuz now 5-1-4 in this Pantheon. And the gold lead in the top lane dropped from 1,000 to 250. Gold lead bot lane has been dropped as well. This game is super close right now.
Yeah, it could definitely go either way. I did like what I was seeing from the Victor damage at the end of that fight. Faker in a bit of trouble here. He's going to have to flash away. As probably just greeted for a turret plate, as he does. Very fast is Pays, by the way. He's got the Swifties and he's Victor, so you can queue things and just run at lightning speed. So trying to do a little bit of what we saw in the last game from Diablo.
Yeah.
On the Jhin.
I do think the
different champ, though.
Jhin was faster.
Yeah. That makes sense. That does make sense.
But, you know, Pays doing his best. It is a Cloud Soul as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to go fast, that's how you do it. Now, we do see T1 making an effort to focus their fire down towards bot lane. Getting some vision control and forcing Perfect away. Should just be able to pick up this tower. Again, good moves on the map from T1 to secure these advantages. Despite the fact KT has the kill lead, it's still T1 with the gold lead. 1,300 ahead. And a Lich Bane just picked up for Faker. A lot of damage when he gets onto targets.
Yeah. He's got a huge amount of burst damage for sure. He has those 4 kills, and he's still behind on gold to BDD, even with all the map gold that T1 have gotten here. But BDD has just been farming a little bit better, has some assists, so I mean, they're basically even. But yeah, not a huge Akali diff at this point in time. We do have Cuz in a pretty good spot with the 5 kills. Just picked up his Black Cleaver, actually, so he's pretty strong himself. As Perfect says, perhaps I'm strong enough now to take down Doran. I'm not 100% convinced just yet.
And you know what? I was talking about champions who get free stats when they level their ultimate. We have 3 in this game.
Yeah.
Armor Pen, and
is.
would you believe? Armor Pen. And Abessa also gets the healing.
Maybe that's just the thing. Champs kind of lack that scaling armor pen, so it's kind of just being thrown on ults here and there.
Yeah, but we do see Cuz building Black Cleaver as well.
Yeah.
So, good luck building armor into that.
Just don't. Just be really squishy and build a bunch of damage and kill him instead.
Kill them first, yes.
Yeah.
What a great game plan. Minute away from the dragon now. And Faker will not have the flash at all for that. So, down that summoner. I think BDD should have his in time. But this is the delicate point of the game because with Baron available, if you lose this fight badly, they could just move over to that objective. I do feel like KT definitely have a lot of DPS for it. But if you win the fight hard enough, it just doesn't really matter. So we'll see how these teams set up for this. Oh, each team only has 1 dragon, so I don't think the dragon itself is too much of a cause for concern. If you have to give it up, or if you focus more on the fight instead of the dragon, I think that is definitely worth it. Ultimately, if you lose the fight but get the dragon, you might just lose Baron instead, and you're still 2 dragons away from Soul.
Is that ward not in the bush?
Which ward?
The ward that Effort just placed. It looks like it's out of the bush.
No, it's outside the bush, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well...
That's a pretty low effort ward, if I'm going to be honest.
That's pretty awkward. Well, you know, his name isn't High Effort. It's just Effort, so you're getting some kind of effort. They're going in. They're trying to kill Effort, actually, as Fenrir doesn't get over the wall, and he doesn't have flash! Fenrir's just out of position entirely as he trades his life with Owner, I guess. And now the follow-up comes in, and Doran catches them all! And that will be the end of that fight. We didn't even really get a setup for that one with how awkwardly it started.
Such a decisive start from T1, and it wasn't clean, but ultimately they caught KT off guard. They just said, go! And everyone jumped in immediately in sync together. Fenrir definitely misplayed that one, and ultimately it's T1 who claim a pretty dominant lead off the back of that, and get the dragon as well. They'll go back
just watch the Ezreal.
Yeah, so they focus their CC onto the Nautilus, and then because he gets knocked by the ult, his Arcane Shift doesn't take him over the wall.
Yeah.
It's kind of unlucky, to be honest. If that was planned by Owner, that's insane. But it's very hard to see that being completely intentional. But if that was, that's like an insane value play.
Yeah.
To like ult the other person so it knocks the Ezreal away from the wall.
Yeah, I don't think so, but he has played a lot of Eyes. So,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, it was sick regardless.
TPing into T1, I guess. Grim Deliverance, or the opposite of a Deliverance.
Pretty grim retreat, I would say.
Yeah. He's returning the package back.
And Dragon will be picked up by T1. Now in this situation, Faker is so fed in this Akali with 6 kills in pocket. Seeker's Arm Guard now picked up. And this is a very momentum-based game where ultimately T1 can just very quickly start a fight and explode members of KT. And if KT cannot withstand that, they will just fall over. This was always going to, I feel like, be, if one team got ahead, the momentum would be insane. And T1 are definitely a team who will twist the knife when they get the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, they're not holding back. It just feels like see target, kill target. If it's a Nautilus, sir, fine. Knock the Ezreal to the left. Mess up his Arcane Shift. Good job, owner. It's kind of like, you know, making your own luck.
If he ulted Ezreal, Ezreal could just shift it over the wall.
Yeah.
And I feel like that part makes me think the decision could have been intentional.
Although I don't know, like he hit the Nautilus with his Qs, so I feel like it was just like...
I mean, what I'm saying is like it could have just been, we're just going to kill the Nautilus because the Ezreal would Arcane Shift over. But I don't know if he specifically planned to knock him to the side.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy play. Maybe if they win and he's in the KOM interview, maybe they'll ask him.
Yeah. Can we put in questions for the...
Yeah, I'm pitching this question.
For the interview? Look at this TP from BDD. He's like, oh, I'm a little bit too far pushed up. I have to TP back.
Okay, what would you in that situation? If you got asked about that play and it wasn't intentional, we'd be like, yeah, of course it's intentional.
No, I would... I would never say it.
Yeah, I'm him.
If it weren't.
I'm him.
Got a public execution here, and to be honest, I don't think Perfect has the kill pressure that he thinks he does, especially with the rotations coming over, and the fact that it's Ambessa with 2.5.
And you know what? I was asking that question, but I think Owner is also another person who wouldn't answer that. He's just showing off. You want to see it again?
Yeah, he's answering our question. I mean, we already knew it because he picked the skin, but he's like, yeah, I want to show it off. Like, he picks Ambessa, he picks his own skin. It's all coming together for him.
I wonder if bot lane is going to pick a mage for their skin at Worlds this time. If this is still the meta by that point.
I don't know. It really depends on who wins, you know? Like, if it's Ruler, I think there's a 0% chance, right? Like, he's just going to pick whatever AD carry he played throughout the tournament. But if it's someone like Pace, maybe he does. I think it really just comes down to the taste of the player.
It would tell the story of the year, I think, better. Like, oh, remember this year when there was mages in the bot lane?
Again. Actually, that year that we had mages in the bot lane, it was a little bit more than a year, actually. Maybe it was a little bit less.
You're supposed to know this, Brendan. You're the classic guy.
Yeah.
Step it up.
This is why we need Papa Smithy.
So in the patch...
he would be like, yeah, I remember that game.
I need to be able to ask you. So Season 7, patch 13, what was being played? What did the LCK look like?
Probably the LeBlanc.
I mean, prior to the...
Unless she was being banned every game.
Yeah.
Which she was.
I don't want probably, Brendan. You got to be more decisive. You got to be more confident. Just say...
Season 7 was 2017, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first season back to League of Legends in Korea, and that was, Red Side LeBlanc ban every single game.
Yeah, I mean, I remember...
It's also very slow meta.
I remember Worlds that year, the Malzahar into P1. We are reminiscing a bit. Dragon is up in a minute. 2 dragons already in pocket for T1. I don't think they need more movement speed for them to win this game, but it certainly would not help KT's chances if they were to get the soul. That being said, will they be able to contest them comfortably? It seems pretty difficult right now. A lot of control on the map currently, keeping KT away from this river, from this dragon. Looks like they're going to try and push up mid and contest a bit. GA for Owner. Puz also does have his in pocket, so the jungler's going to be a bit more aggressive and play a bit more forward. But right now, it is a pretty sizable lead for T1.
Yeah. it's not like a straight line in their favor on the goal difference graph, but it is a trend where it's going in a certain direction overall.
I think, mid lane, both of them have a couple of items, Seekers and some components. Junglers are on parity in terms of items. Doran isn't that far ahead. Main thing is AD carry. Paze has 3 full items and Seekers right now. The Seekers edge is pretty big.
Yeah, you don't want to hook the Leona. This is what happens, kind of this awkward engage, and now Effort's pretty much dead. The follow-up from Doran is perfect from the right side. And they just have that damage from the Arcane Storm, which does time out as Zing goes owner. But he's got that GA. Pays a little bit too far forward, but there is the arm guard that's going to keep him safe. And I think that's really the crux of it. BDD, though, looking to try to end this game on his way. And he is just getting in on a Faker, but it's just him. As Perfect has that passive stacked now, though. And Faker goes golden, but straight onto Miasma. And perhaps this time, T1 went a little bit too deep as the circus music is playing already. He's trying to take down BDD, who has his own arm. And he takes them both down, or at least baits them in. Triple kill for Cuz, and KT are right back in it.
What a crazy fight from KT, and the momentum from T1 just could not continue. This fight looked like KT was starting off on the back foot to such a large degree. We get Effort CC chain down, starting to get melted, and they're looking for that reset, but the kill doesn't end up really doing much to change the outcome of this fight. We see KT kind of away. The Arcane Storm fizzles out before getting any bigger. They buy time, and Perfect buys so much space here. They focus him down quickly, but he's just going to revive, and BDD going aggressive here, committing to the play. We see Fenrir following, and even though he does go down to Doran, they're just running out of gassing the tank at this point. It's sustained DPS. Survivability from KT. BDD going aggressive here is crazy, by the way. But able to kite Paze out, who tries to finish off Perfect. Misses the laser. BDD, look at his health!
The timing!
Oh, what plays, honestly, from KT here. BDD in particular, always a show with him. And Cuz as well in the Pantheon. Looked like he was just going to go down in his GA early in that fight, but able to buy time, get into a more comfortable position to retake the fight.
Well, very interesting and fiery fight we had there in the KT jungle. And that's what sometimes can happen if you overcommit. The beginning of that fight, though, looked totally fine for T1. Like, they get the pick on the Effort. The Ambessa comes in from the right side. Cuz gets pretty low. But then they just chase a little bit too far. And if you give Cassiopeia enough time, Zahen enough time, you can lose in a very extended fight, which that one was. So you got to be very careful. You have to respect KT if you're T1. But,
oh, nice dodge from Cuz.
Sometimes can be difficult for them.
We've seen so often Olaf be the big pick into these lower damage mage compositions. Zahen filling a similar role where they just can't kill you twice. And with Olaf, they can't kill you without CC. Faker, though, might be in trouble.
Very deep on a Faker here, and yeah, he's going to go golden, but he's just dead. I mean, there's no way for him to get out of that one. They throw everything in the kitchen sink at him in the mid lane.
Yep.
And Faker, he holds on to his flash. He's like, no, I got the shroud, I'm fine. But Cuz lands the stun, and the follow-up is there.
Doran has just been pushing top. Now, they will be able to get a lot of damage done to these structures. They're not going for a team fight contest.
And he's not even going to try.
Not even going to bother. So, T1 making the best of a bad situation. Just going to pick up some gold there. Now have to get out, though, which is not a guaranteed situation.
Okay, they're just going to walk to the south side of the map.
Strategy never fails.
KT were like, oh, okay, we don't want to fight you. Just please leave peacefully.
Yeah. So Baron in pocket for KT. We'll see a replay of this fight. Pantheon comes in. He's in the Shroud. Cuz gets a stun as soon as he steps out. And then Effort with good layering. But the thing is, Faker stasis is on the Miasma. There's just not a more unfortunate place to be. Now, though, if you look at the Baron power play, not very much at all. KT definitely need to capitalize on this Baron and get some structures. They are pushing in the bot lane. They do have Perfect covering mid, and he does have TP. So, a lot of gold in terms of structures to be able to be picked up here by KT.
Yeah.
Like, the team gold is dead even right now. Definitely tip that in their favor.
on one hand, you could put Pays in the lane that's being pushed and try to clear the waves as the victor, but you're just not safe enough, especially with the way T1 are playing on the map. So
yeah,
they just put him mid.
Ignoring the problem.
But
this is something that in my life I've done very many times.
How's that worked out for you?
Not so well.
You're doing pretty well, though. I don't know. Like maybe in the long run it has worked out.
Maybe.
You know, just don't make too much of a bad situation, is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, you know, this isn't going so well.
They're pushing this lane. It's difficult to deal with.
It'll work itself out.
I'm just going to go to another lane.
Somebody will handle that. It doesn't have to be me.
It would be uncomfortable if I was to go into that lane.
Yeah.
Let's just farm in mid or top instead. I can respect the approach. As I said, it's a line of thinking I've had many times.
You lose your inhibitor, you get it back. It respawns. It's okay.
True.
Yeah. Some things in real life that doesn't work that way, but at least in League of Legends, T1 say, well, I can do this. They're actually looking for perfect here, going very deep down the lane. He just Grim Deliverance is out, and yeah, no ult from Doran is going to connect, and now the collapse comes in, Cuz with the punish. Gonna take him down to his miasma, and that'll be the end of Owner in this fight. They look for the pick. Maybe they get effort here, as the Shuriken is going to land, and Faker's thinking about it, does go in. Big ult here with the depth charge, and now the chase is on. They take out the Nautilus, but what about the rest of the fight, I do wonder? As they're looking for Fenrir, he's very isolated on the left side. Faker, no! He's going to miss! And Pays is left by his lonesome. Left to the dogs, and now Faker gonna be sniped out by Fenrir, who just outplays him in the bottom side, and the fans can't believe it.
4 strong with Baron. It's only Doran and Carrier. They might just push for the end here.
Yeah, I don't see a way that they can clear these waves. Carrier and Doran going to try to put their face in it. At least there's no Baron left. We'll have to wait and see what they can do. Although the tower damage is huge. The first one is already down, and they can't quite kill perfect. They don't quite have the damage. As there's the knockup, Doran goes down to his GA. And they still have a wave. Owner's here, just trying to keep the dream alive. In goes Doran. Nearly takes down Fenrir, but he lives until the very end of this game even. As down will go the turret, and down goes the Nexus. KT ROLSTER take down T1 in the first one.